Hey, welcome back to Tuesday with Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And here I am on the eve of potential TikTok ban, trying to tell you about how this may be a fantastic thing for its Alibaba holders. Wait a little minute. We'll weave this little thread through the story here. But
Okay.
it's a pretty interesting thing going on geopolitically right now between the US and China, right? Not only do we have change of regime in the US, but there's this kind of major shiny beacon of TikTok that is at the center of this fight for the moment.
I
All
agree.
right.
I don't know how this is going to be good for Baba. But
Yeah.
wait, do you have TikTok?
I do not
Me
actually. I
neither.
had it for like a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put up my phone.
Yeah. I mean, you saw our previous video. I talked a little about how I was trading this coming into the election, which actually worked out very well. So I let my BABA call ended up expiring, and my JD call hit the strike price at exactly $39 even. So my JD shares get called away overnight last night.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Well, you saw BABA had a pretty good day on Friday, right? Up
Mm-hmm.
3%, which was nice. Not quite as good as JD, up 10%. Right? Overall market for Hong Kong was green, but nothing super crazy right here. Only like less than a half a percent, right? So what drove this kind of major boom for some of these Chinese internet tech companies is the discussion between President Trump, who assumes power on the January 20th, like a day and a half from when we're filming this, and President Xi. Now, the fact that they talked on the phone means to me says he's probably not coming to the inauguration. That would have been pretty interesting. It would have been the first time a foreign leader attended a U.S. transfer of power. You know, make that into some wild movie suggestions right there. I
Oh,
can
for
just
sure.
see it now. Just Z runs off with the nuclear football, and then we have a fumble on the third line, third goal,
Oh,
a
jeez.
3 yard line. Sorry, but this is like the nice thing is that they're starting to see increasing cooperation between the incoming U.S. Kind of regime here and the current Chinese powerhouse, right? So TikTok ban was one of the things they talked about. This was prior to the Supreme Court decision being announced later on in the day, but it was many kind of points that they discussed per Trump. He spoke publicly about this on his Truth Social platform, saying that he's very excited to work with Xi and that he had great hopes for the two nations come together. This is a little snippets here, but the call is very good for both the China and the U.S., which is it's nice to see that he's not having this like really negative rhetoric. He's really talking about like cooperation and working together, which is why we saw these Chinese internet companies come up so much significantly or have a nice bullish day, and that they're starting to work together and solve problems together immediately as he's sworn into office in a day and a half, which is we'll see what happens there. I'm very optimistic that this will have a air of cooperation as they go together, rather than having this all out trade war, which would be bad for everyone involved.
It's very heads or tails here because his first term was the trade war. It was the exact opposite. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit confused. I don't know if this is just like posturing or what. I don't know why is all of a sudden really wanting to work with China because that's not what he was trying to do before. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It'd be good for Baba, but
I think at his very core, love him or hate him, Trump is a negotiator,
true, hundred
and
percent.
he loves to work a deal, and I think that's what he's trying to do here. He's starting off with this really positive tone where he's going to say we're working together, we're going to try to make this happen. Don't get me wrong, he's going to hardball over some things, I'm sure, but he is really kind of focused on making the best deal he can for he is according to his sources or his position, if you will, and TikTok is very much at the center of that. So this is before the Supreme Court ruling came out. Obviously, this law would have taken effect tomorrow, and that there's some real debate about whether or not it should go into place. And so this is a Supreme Court decision, right? So this is actually TikTok's response or ByteDance's response. As of now, if uh, Biden doesn't have an executive or action put in place, TikTok would become illegal in the United States as of tomorrow. Right.
Right.
So the companies kind of at the center of this are Apple, Google, and Oracle. Right. As of the enaction of this provision here, basically, both Apple and Google were no longer allowed on their app store. It was up to ByteDance if they would allow users that already have the app to continue to access it. And ByteDance came out today and said that if this goes into place and that Biden does not intervene, the app will go dark tomorrow. Right?
Okay. So a
And
little bit of
then,
a threat.
yep, and then we have the inauguration on Monday. And Trump has been very much, like I said, talking about cooperation. So I don't see him blocking it at that point. So even if Biden does allow, it does actually have, TikTok basically go into sunset here tomorrow. I think Trump will reverse that when he comes into office on Monday, because
Really?
he's going to want to have it as a bargaining chip between himself and Xi Jinping,
I agree.
and companies like Baba are going to be kind of stuck there in the middle. But ultimately, I think it could be a good thing for us.
Well, so I mean, we saw during the entire first presidency, Bob was suffering because of Chinese American relations. So if Chinese American relations improve in any way, it's really only a good thing. And it's not just for
Yeah.
Bob. It's all Chinese stocks across the board, all of them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Probably not electric cars because of the tariffs, but most
Yeah.
all the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Um, this is gonna make me sound ignorant as hell. I'm gonna get ripped apart in the comments. Is fentanyl a big? Why were all of these headlines having fentanyl with China? I understand fentanyl's a
Why do they?
big problem here. I don't know what how
Yeah.
Xi has to do with that.
I don't know what the evidence of it is, but I know the allegation is that much of it is produced, at least the precursor chemicals are made in China in like actual labs. And then argument is that some of that is either shipped to, the Latin American countries to finish the product, or that finished fentanyl is being shipped to Latin American countries and then coming across the U.S. southern border. That's the claim. I don't know,
Yeesh. It's a
enough
weak
about
claim.
that to say whether or not it's founded, unfounded, what the volume is, but that's at least the talking point or discussion point here. Certainly, other countries have different regulations on the production of various chemical substances and whether or not they're able to be produced and then transported internationally. So that's something I think that they could certainly address if it is indeed a significant portion of the source for the U.S. fentanyl issue.
All right. So TikTok, fentanyl, hand in hand. All right.
Yeah, and Alibaba to the moon as Xi Jinping and Donald Trump cooperate.
So this is gonna be an interesting week. It's either gonna be like up 6% or down 6%. It'll be one or the other. This is not
Yeah,
a sell covered calls week.
no, this is
Yeah,
why I
it's a
don't have
bad
any
idea.
options going into this week.
All right, all right, guys. Let us know what you think.
Get to the next one.